Bulletcast for life.
Get up! This is a revolution! This is our time to rise! Look deep within your mind! Look deep into the hate in my eyes! We are the elite!
Ladies and gentlemen, you know the name, you know the voice, you know exactly why I'm here. Just in case you don't, I am a 25-year-old piece of gold, the messiah of the microphone messiah, whichever one you want to say, whichever way you want to say it. I'm the greatest sports recreational podcaster in the world today, joined on the line by my co-host, my cohort in crime, one of my tag team partners I've had in my long tenure being involved in the professional wrestling game in any capacity. He is the Canadian Destroyer, the host of the underappreciated Under the Radar and Curveballs and Chair Shots. Ladies and gentlemen, the first ever and 11-time Bulletcast champion, Brandon Tanguma. How you doing, bud?
Doing just fine. The underproducing Under the Radar, I might add. But
oh, man.
I'm doing just fine over here in Alameda County. Starting to open back up a little bit, seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Your boy went to the gym this week, and I am hating life.
Yeah,
I
man.
am a fat sack of you know what.
Hey, it's okay, man. I'm kind of scared to go back to the gym, Brandon. You know, all the inactivity pain, it's just gonna hurt. You know, did it hurt that bad, or did it hurt less than you thought it would?
I'm not like immobile, but my shoulders a little tough. You know, your boy. We talked about. I don't know if we talked about the Biggie, but we all know Biggie. Biggie's known for the chest. Me too. You know, I can push some chest. I can do some bench press. Your boy was struggling yesterday. It was a little embarrassing.
Somebody spotted you, right? You were doing.
No, I was doing it by myself, but if someone were to spot me, I would have needed a spot to just do one plate, which if you know anything about lifting and bench pressing, that is like usually the minimum of what you should be able to do. And I can't even do that. So I'm just a tub of goo right now.
Oh man, I used to be a bench press guy when I was in high school, trying to look like The Rock or some ish. Nah, man, I'm really a cardio guy at this point in my life because of the wrestling coaching, but I'm scared, man. It's gonna hurt.
Tomorrow is leg day, so the
Ooh.
entire weekend I might not be able to walk.
Oh man, those quads and those calves are gonna be looking nice.
Mm-hmm. I mean, over
Calves.
everything, I've been able to push a lot of weight with the legs, so hopefully I still retain some. But feeling myself up right now, it's a little squishy.
You know they used to call me Calfzilla back in the day. You know that, right?
More of a thunder thighs type of guy.
Oh, you're a thunder thighs.
Yep.
Oh, okay. I'll see you pimping the whole game. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, before we talk about the world of professional wrestling, we got to get into it. HD for Life on spring.com. Yes, it is a graffiti artwork company on the former Teespring, now spring.com. Designs, Get Her Done 1 and 2, H-Dog, A Mother's Love, Hurry Up 1 and 2, King H-Dog, H-Dog dash Get It, Mr. Pimpin', Mr. Sapo, HD for Life Americana, Common Sense, Soldier, H-Dog, and Life Safety. They have hoodies, t-shirts, sweatpants, tank tops, face masks, tote bags, and so much more. HD for Life at spring.com. You don't want to miss it. They have great stuff. Yeah, we're gonna keep plugging it until you guys really buy some stuff here. Buy some of this merchandise. It's so nice. It's so nice. Yeah, you know, well, what's coming up? Well, Easter's coming up. Mother's Day. You know, maybe your mother's birthday or your grandma's birthday, or what was it, abuelita in Spanish. You know, maybe your tia. You know, maybe your tío. I don't know. Your primos. I don't know what's going on. But get some of this merchandise for your family or for yourself. It'll make nice gifts for people. Do it. HD for Life on spring.com.
Waste your whole stimmy on it.
Waste your whole. Have you gotten you got a stimmy yet?
Mm-hmm.
You
shout out Moneybag Joe.
You dripping?
Mm-hmm.
You see, Joe's not playing. All right. That's why we got him to where he's at right now.
Blow your stimmy on some new merchandise. And Moneybag Joe said by the 4th of July it's gonna be lit. And so 4th of July barbecue. It's going to be cracking.
It's going to be
as
cracking.
The kids say.
Get out, get your vaccine. Brandon, have you done that yet?
Of course not.
Why not, Brandon?
It's a long line. You know,
it's not a long line.
I'm being nice. I'm letting people. I mean, what am I? I'm not essential.
That's true. I got the first shot on Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen. I'm still alive and kicking. There was no side effects. There was no ailments. You know, I may be a hefty boy, but I'm a healthy hefty boy. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, let's jump into it. The WWE Network officially moves to Peacock today. Not all of the content, though. And you know what, man? I've been really thinking about this, and I've been reading this stuff. So ESPN Plus, they have their own streaming platform, but then a lot of their content is on like Hulu or something, right? But they still have their own streaming platform. If WWE could have worked out a deal to where they get like live pay-per-views and stuff on Peacock and some other content, but keep the network, I think that would have been the better move, in my personal opinion, because the network is so crisp and smooth right now. You know how long it took them to, you can look up a superstar by match or whatever, or by event, and timestamps. You know how long it took them to get that right?
It's been a long, long journey. I've been there since day one.
Same here.
I still have not signed up for the Peacock. I am going to be dragged kicking and screaming. So Fastlane this weekend, it's going to be a sad, sad time.
You can still watch it on the network.
That's exactly what I'm doing. I am not buying Peacock until after Fastlane. And once NXT TakeOver and WrestleMania come up, that's when I have to do it. And I've already talked about how I watch on Amazon. There's still not a Peacock app on Amazon, so I got to do the whole third-party situation. So that's fun. It's going to be a grand old time for your boy.
I think I'm gonna try to watch Fastlane on Peacock. I'm gonna test it out, and we'll talk about that when we do our Fastlane recap on Sunday night. But yeah, man. So I don't know. I don't know if they could have figured out a way to keep both parties happy. I would have done that and to satisfy the fan. But then again, like what 1.5 or 2 million subscribers on the network, and then 22 million on Peacock. I mean, it's a great business deal, People talk about WWE being down. It's not the same, but business is booming.
I think this is the perfect microcosm of WWE. Business is booming. This is $1 billion or whatever, $1 billion contract to move the network for the U.S. residents onto Peacock. But yet, at least, especially in my circumstance, and I would assume in some other people's circumstances, they've been so used to the network, and then now you have to migrate them over to a completely new platform that's not even maybe as user-friendly, especially for the wrestling audience. So WWE as a business is doing great, but yet when it comes to just trying to satisfy the fans and make them, give them the best product possible, not exactly doing that.
What's wrestling about? What's wrestling about, Brandon?
It's all about making money.
There we go. That's what they did.
I'm the money guy over here. So
Fox paid $1 billion for SmackDown. Peacock paid $1 billion for the network. Vince, this is why he's not a businessman. He's a business man for reasons like this. Yes, sir. Let's jump into the SmackDown recap real quick. So next week, which is actually going to be tomorrow night, Edge will face off against Jey Uso. Edge's first match on SmackDown in 10 years? Or 11 years. The winner of that becomes the special enforcer for Roman versus Daniel Bryan this Sunday. Obviously, it has to be Edge, right?
I think it can go either which way. Maybe we see both of them. I mean, I would assume Jey would still be with Roman in the match, but maybe we'll get a little more into this with Fastlane. But I wonder if they're going to go possibly the New Japan route, and we're going to have like two matches on both, not two matches in both nights, but you have Edge or you have Daniel Bryan and Roman face off on the Saturday, and then maybe winner of that faces Edge on Sunday at Fastlane. Because I don't know exactly. I haven't looked at all the cards and everything that's going on with WrestleMania, but you're trying to fill out two shows. It's probably going to be a shorter show, maybe 2.5, 3 hours on each. Do you think they go that route with the SmackDown way? Because right now with Daniel Bryan, I don't see if you're going to have him in a singles match, I don't see him any other way unless you put him with Jey in a tag team after the Usos or something else like that.
Well, I didn't even think about that. That's actually a great idea. This is where New Japan actually benefits the wrestling world. Yeah, I could see that. That would be nice. Probably get a schmoz finish on Sunday night, and then Pierce says, "All right, you guys face each other on night 1, and the winner faces Edge on night 2 in the main event." Yeah, we could do that.
I mean, I could see them do that. It's just, I think of what do they do with Daniel Bryan. They're really kind of hammering home the fact that this could possibly be his last WrestleMania. His contract apparently is up. I'm not going to be as optimistic as I was last time around that he's going to leave for AEW, but you never know. And I think they do want to make it, maybe get the most out of Daniel Bryan if he is maybe not leaving, but not going to be an everyday talent.
That is something. We do have some fan mail about Daniel Bryan. We're gonna get to once we get to that segment. The Kevin Owens show. Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair were guests, and Sasha said, I'm when it comes to the women's division, I'm kind of like the Michael Jordan, and you're like the LeBron James. Which Sasha, she's won 6 women's championships. MJ has what, six rings, so it makes sense. Nice comparison.
Yeah, we're seeing Bianca steadily be the babyface, and I think Sasha's not exactly turning heel, but she's being more of the heelish personality in this group. And they have the tag match at Fastlane. Maybe we kind of get a blow off that way where Sasha does something dastardly. We have Reggie in the background. Who the hell knows what's going on with him? But I'm not exactly saying they're dropping the ball with it quite yet. But I know everyone after coming out of WrestleMania thinking, we can have them be a main event. They're not exactly building it that way. I would assume at this point we're going to have the 2 men's title matches be the main events.
Look, here's what you do. After Fastlane, whatever happens with the women's tag titles, you just solely focus on Sasha and the Bianca, because it's kind of like the same thing that happened with Shawn and John back in the day. It's kind of the exact same thing. They were tag team champions going into their world title match, but after they won the tag titles was kind of like a side note in the story, and the singles title was the main focus. Hopefully we get that, and if the match is really good, people are gonna forget. You know what I'm saying? Like there have been
that's honestly what's with WWE right now. The storylines might not be the best, but when push comes to shove, when it's a big blow-off match, more often than not, it'll make up for everything that the TV couldn't, hold up.
Until we get the rematch of Paybacklash? We should just call it that.
Paybacklash.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Paybacklash.
I was going to say Armageddon, but Armageddon, that's like a December thing, right?
Yeah. Oh, man, I missed Armageddon. That was some good stuff. Oh, yeah, Paybacklash. I don't know. We'll see. Speaking of, we talked about Big E a little bit. Big E, the Intercontinental Champion, little Big E boy. He has made his return to SmackDown. See, he was gone for 3 weeks. Didn't really feel like it. You know what I'm saying? Because the SmackDown's just been so good. It's okay for champions not to be there every single week, guys. Drew had a little bit of the burnout factor because he was there every week. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. So Big E comes back after he was attacked by the new Nigerian prince and Apollo Crews, and his promo. He was trying to be funny, but he was also being serious. And that's where Big E. That's where he thrives in his area of expertise in the promo, which we were supposed to talk about 24 a couple weeks ago. I saw it. I finally just saw it a couple days ago. It's absolutely fantastic. I truly do like it. But yeah, man. So he says, "You want me? You can get me." And then Apollo comes in, and I guess his new finisher is the Angle Slam
or Olympic Slam.
Well,
you're not supposed to say Olympic Slam.
You're not supposed to, because the Olympic Commission, they came after WWE for that one.
What you can't say the Nigerian Slam.
Yeah, we can do that. Or can we just call it Cruise Control?
It's maybe a little too cute for his gimmick right now. But
wow.
the Big E promo, I absolutely loved it. We've seen Big E be serious, but I still feel like this was the most serious we've ever seen Big E. He had a little bit of fun at the beginning, all gimmicked up with the neck brace and the knee pads and everything like that, and he rips it off. But then when push comes to shove, he was full on preacher mode. And it's almost kind of like John Cena. John Cena can be fun loving, but when he turns the preacher mode voice on, it's about to go down. And that's what happened with Big E.
Well, Big E, he grew up in the church, so that was the benefit. And you see, this is what I was talking about. Guys can be goofy outside of the ring, but when it's time to get serious, they can get serious. Big E, the dude was had his feet in a foot tub at ringside on a couch, just chilling, playing games. But when he stood up, you're like, oh, okay, some itch might go down. That's all you need, man.
I mean, Mick Foley, The Rock, and even Stone Cold, when he was at his peak, would have a little bit of fun, have his own type of comedy. But really, The Rock and Mankind, they could do straight up comedy and look like a bunch of fools, but still be serious and be over as hell.
Absolutely. Shout out Mankind. All right, outside of the ring, Jordan Grace's contract is expiring soon with Impact Wrestling. So, she said WWE is her dream. It still is her dream. But you look at maybe she wants some creative freedom. Impact Wrestling. I'm not Impact Wrestling. AEW. That's where the creative freedom is the most prevalent at this moment in time in the wrestling world. And plus, they need women. They need women of this caliber. So, where do you want to see Jordan Grace go once her contract expires?
Definitely, personally, I'd rather see her be in AEW because I think she can make more of an impact, no pun intended, over at AEW. Just because, as you said, they are kind of struggling to get a lot of women talent, especially North American women talent. They have a plethora of Japanese talent. I still don't know if that's really the way you want to focus a lot of your women's division on. But if she goes to WWE, not saying if she goes to NXT, she's not going to strive over there. I think she has a distinct look. She has a good personality. She can go over there. Ty Valkyrie, she signed, but we haven't seen her quite yet at NXT. I know they just signed Sari, something. They signed like a big name Japanese talent for NXT. So NXT, they're continuing to get more and build on their very deep, strong women's division as it is. And if they can get Jordan Grace and turn into Grace Jordan or whatever they're going to call her, that's just another coup for NXT.
Just call her Grace Steiner. Just do that. How do you like that I sent you? Would that be cool? Would you enjoy that?
You sent me a WrestleMania logo with the San Francisco 49ers at the bottom.
No, I mean AT&T Park, my guy.
Oracle Park.
Oracle Park. My bad.
It's Oracle Park. Come on, got to get your gimmicks down.
Would that be nice though? Would you enjoy that?
I mean, I would enjoy it personally if you want to bring a WrestleMania down here to the Bay, but I would just assume they'd go back to Levi Stadium. You never know. They've been doing Royal Rumbles in baseball stadiums. I know they want to maybe keep it indoors because of weather purposes, but if you want to bring it to Oracle Park for WrestleMania or for Royal Rumble 2022, I ain't mad at that.
I'd be down for that. Freddie Prinze Jr. We all know him. She's all that Scooby Doo. He came under some criticism for some actually positive comments he made about the wrestling business, which people forget. He worked for WWE twice. People really forget this. So I'm gonna read his comments and then we're gonna discuss them. Ooh, excuse me. Here we go. He took to Twitter a couple of days ago and he said, "If you knew how bad most TV execs did not want professional wrestling on their channels, you'd respect the hell out of WWE, NXT, and AEW for pulling off what they do each week. They literally have every card in the deck stacked against them, and they're still growing the business. That's why cats like Triple H doing interviews and Cody being on other TNT programming is so important. They help normalize the business because they just get it. They come off chill and solid. Hope they both continue to stay out in the public eye. It's more important now than ever." And he was receiving criticism. We're like, "Oh, what do you know about TV executives and you don't know what goes on in the boardrooms?" I mean, guys, he grew up in the business. He was a TV exec on his own show. He had his sitcom Freddie back in the mid 2000s. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm sure he has his ear to the wall, and he's been in both sides of the game. He's been in the wrestling game, and he's been in the TV exec game, and he was receiving flack for it. And I'm like, really? He's defending a he's one of us. Why are you not showing Freddie some love?
Yeah, I got no hate for what Freddie said. It all makes sense. Wrestling has its own stigma for better, for worse. And I think WWE has been able to wash that stigma away. I mean, that's really the main reason WCW doesn't exist anymore, is because the new TNT executives didn't want wrestling on their station. And so, I mean, I get where he's coming from, but I also kind of wish WWE, just wrestling in general, would be a little bit more mainstream. Like, I think they look at it as like, oh, that's its own fun thing, but they don't take it too seriously. Because we see, especially in the sports and rap world, where wrestling is really, influential, but it's always the Attitude Era. We see, 316 Day, we saw LeBron James wear a Stone Cold shirt. We saw Dame do a Stone Cold thing. I mean, hell, Damian Lillard is in the new the WWE Battlegrounds game. Like, Damian Lillard and other sports icons love wrestling, but normally it's always like the throwback stuff. I think if WWE could, capitalize and be a little more authentic, a little more gritty, that could really help them. And I'm still waiting for AEW to maybe once they get back touring, they can really catch their stride. They can, especially because they got the TNT NBA link up. We could see a little more of that, but I do wish maybe WWE wrestling in general could be a little more mainstream, but I see what he was talking about.
Yes. We're going to talk about the touring schedule of AEW. Um, Buddy Murphy or Murphy, he spoke about his storyline with with the Mysterios. He commented under a picture of him and Seth Rollins that they posted. What was it, last Friday? But he quickly deleted the comment. But I caught it. So here we go. Let's point out the obvious. The Mysterios use me. I never needed them. I'm beyond one of the best talents in the ring. One of the best talented in-ring performers on the planet. Aaliyah used me to be on TV and advance her acting career. Dominic used me so he had a reason to stand ringside. Ray was jealous that I became the new face of the cruiserweight division, and he felt left out of the discussion. They took what they wanted and then left me in the shadows. Sounds like my time in NXT. How do you feel about that?
So those comments, they sound like he's going into business for himself, but it's not a shoot. If you understand what I'm saying, like he's trying to make his own. He's trying to live the gimmick.
Yeah.
And I wish people did that a little bit more on social media. Kind of, keep the pristine of kayfabe a little more on the internet. But I mean, it's a fun little thing that Murphy said. Maybe he did just kind of spout that off to have some fun with it, and then someone came back and was like, "Yeah, you probably should have said that."
Yeah, it just sounds like one of those. Charlie Caruso's been taken off WWE TV. She's been replaced on Raw Talk. She has been backstage doing interviews, and the reason why, apparently, she was late for some serious material that was going to be used on Raw in interviews, mostly regarding Randy Orton and Sheamus. VKM caught wind of it and decided to take executive action.
Yeah, not a good look on Charlie. Apparently, her contract is coming to an end. I know she does some things with ESPN, so maybe she's going to transition more into the sports world, similar to what Renee Paquette did before WWE, and now what she's doing right now. So, I mean, she's been with the company, I think, since 2016. I think she's been a great backstage talent. I mean, her and Renee were, I think, really good at their job. And now, whether it's a professional thing I mean, don't be late. I know people go through their own things. But when you're late, you mess up everybody else's schedule. And especially with WWE, where everything is just so micromanaged, if you're off by like a minute or two, that can throw off everything.
Especially, with a big company like WWE, I don't understand why you would want to be late. I'd get there early. Well, I have to be here at 4. I'll be here at 1. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why you would do that. Why would you do that?
If you're early, you're on time. And if you're on time, you're late.
Or in some people's cases, hey man, whatever time I walk in the door is on time. Some people are like that, Brandon, are you like that? Are you one of those people?
I'm a very punctual person. I know that might be the journalist in me. That's a spout that they say in journalism school. Always got to be early, because when you're early, you can catch some things that maybe not everyone catches. So you always want to be early, and it really does piss me off sometimes when people are a little late.
Was that a shot, bro?
I mean, it might be a shot at you, it might be a shot at somebody else. It's a shot at anybody. Don't be late. If we agree on a time, do not be late. And if you're going to be late, that's fine. Just tell me you're going to be late.
I told you I was going to be late.
I didn't say I was talking to you. I'm just throwing it out into the universe.
We were on time recording this. What am I talking about? Jesus Christ. Eric Bischoff, the Bish. First of all, congrats. He's going into the Hall of Fame. Yay! Going to the 2021 class for the WWE Hall of Fame. So happy for him. This is actually perfect timing. An interview of his and Chris Van Vliet's dropped, I think, today. I want to say today. But first of all, how do you feel about the Bish going into the Hall of Fame? Well deserved.
Definitely well deserved. I thought we talked about this before we went on the air. Was he supposed to be in with the NWO, or was he? I don't think he was. I think it was only supposed to be the 3 men.
No, actually, no. It was Hogan, Nash, Hall, and Pac. Yeah.
Neville's coming back?
X-Pac.
Oh, X-Pac. Okay.
Yes. 6.
Heard him making a comeback. Watch out. 1, 2, 3 Kid coming to the Indies near you.
Yeah, he is. He got rid of his hepatitis. He's ready to have a little retirement tour. But yeah, I mean, congratulations. I mean, for 83 weeks, he beat Vince McMahon. Who else can say that? Who else can say that they outdid Vince McMahon for almost a 2-year period? Nobody else can do that.
Monday Night Football.
in the wrestling world.
Oh.
Yeah,
I mean,
come on.
technically NXT is under the WWE umbrella. I know Vince might not, he might have like a side-eyed
They
NXT.
don't even draw a mill, bruh. Raw
I
on
know.
their lowest night at least does like 1.3 mil or something like that.
But the demographics are way better for AEW. They have less viewers, be at their demographic or the 18 to 49 male demo. Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm that guy. I'm that guy on Twitter.
Congratulations to Eric Bischoff. Well deserved. I've always appreciated Eric Bischoff. Saw him at Starcast. Let him pass by me on the elevator. He said thank you. My little interaction with the Bish.
I will say, back in my my heyday, my little whatever, my infancy of wrestling, I remember I was watching Raw and they brought out Eric Bischoff and it was this big old ordeal. Eric Bischoff is coming to Raw and he's gonna be the general manager. And I'm just sitting there, however old I was, like what, 7 or 8. I'm like, who the hell is this guy? I don't know. I don't care about him.
Oh
then,
man.
Yeah, I know. I was an idiot back then.
Oh man, Plus one of the best themes in the business. I'm back. I love that. I love it. Love it so much. Yeah, but also Eric Bischoff. Chris Van Vliet posts these little snippets of interviews before they drop, and it was about the AEW TNA comparison. And Eric Bischoff, I mean, he said it's ignorant. He said it's absolutely ignorant. And people like to say AEW is all ex WWE, which that's a whole other topic for another time. Name me one company in the business, like a major company, that doesn't have any ex WWE talent. You can't. But my point being, he said that these names bring in equity because let's say you didn't have Sting, Christian Cage, or Jericho, or Big Show, and Cody. Okay, you know him from WWE TV. Sure, you have Goldust, Dustin, but let's be real. Is Jungle Boy and Marco Stunt what's his name? Luchasaurus, are they going to get you a TV deal in France? No. Is the Dark Order, I love those guys, are they going to get you a TV deal in India? No. Bigger names equal more equity, which drives in more business. All right, who do you got? You have Chris Jericho, I know him. You have Sting, I remember him from back in the day, wrestling the Horsemen or whatever. All right, Christian, I remember him from the Edge and Christian. Okay, yeah, let's do some business. That's what these names bring in. Now, with TNA, they brought in a lot of those guys, but they were taking up a lot of the main time. We still have a lot of the younger talent on screen right now. You know what I'm saying? And plus, they're not putting the title on all these guys.
I completely agree with you. The only one I would want to point out is Christian. Now, I know people love him. He's going to probably do some good work in AEW, but you compared him to Jericho and Sting and the Big Show, which I think all three of those guys have mainstream appeal.
With Christian, I just threw him in the, like, oh, you were in that tag team with Edge, right? Okay, cool.
And I know, and that's what I'm saying. Like, Christian, he doesn't have the same cachet, and yet he will be quote unquote taking it's not like I'm not against like the signing per se, but it's just when you weigh your options and you have possibly other WWE guys coming down the pipeline, I don't think Christian is worth, the good product compared to the negative, if there even is any. I think Christian is, we've already talked about this, but I feel like Christian is one of the guys I would have passed up on. I just don't think he's worth it.
I don't know, because I mean he talked in his promo. Well, we'll talk about his promo, but I mean, I don't know, man. Like John Moxley, he said he knew everything about wrestling until he wrestled Christian. You know what I'm saying? So as far as signing him, for him to have some matches on TV, sure, he gets that. But then his mind and his creativity and the way his brain works about the business, passing that to the next generation that's in that locker room, it's a win-win.
I mean, that's what when it comes to his knowledge and everything, I think it's a positive. But when it comes to like star power and like on screen, I don't see really the value he will bring in terms of like bringing new eyeballs. Like, yeah, when he'll have a good match, he'll cut some good promos. Maybe he has to try a little extra harder because he's up there in age and he wants to try to keep up with the young guys. But I know this is a little divisive and everything, so maybe I just feel. I was also kind of against Jericho being the first AEW champion. I kind of wanted Hangman to be that. Don't want to have your first champion to be an ex-WWE guy. Now, in hindsight, I think Jericho winning was a good call. Hangman, I think eventually when he does beat Kenny, I think that's going to be a monumental moment. But I feel like Christian just isn't that guy that you want to waste maybe some of that equity on. Like, wait for Andrade or Aleister Black, or I don't know, John Cena or Batista. It's not going to happen, but you never know.
But let's be real. Like, would Andrade and Aleister Black, would they really like draw big money like that?
I'm not, but I'm saying Christian isn't drawing big money either.
Not big. How do I want to put this? Christian has the experience level and somewhat recognizable. He's somewhat recognizable.
By who? By wrestling fans. I think wrestling fans know Christian. People outside of the wrestling bubble, I don't think they know who Christian is.
Well, that's true. Well, people outside the wrestling bubble don't know Andrade or Aleister Black either.
Exactly, but if we're gonna pick someone who isn't outside the wrestling bubble, I would rather have the younger guys who I feel can add more to the on-screen product than Christian.
He can add to the on-screen product. Experience, that's what this comes down to. With Christian signing, like with Show, Sting, and Jericho, it's the star factor. That's why they're there. With Christian, he has a star factor within the wrestling community, sure, but it comes down to that experience factor and him helping guide these younger guys along in the producer role, which he will eventually migrate into once he hangs up the boots for good. That's what that's about. That's what the Christian signing was about.
But you have so many of those guys already.
Well, yeah, but it helps to have more. Like, you look at a time where backstage you had Michael P.S. Hayes, Pat Patterson, Arn Anderson, Dean Malenko, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, Jamie Noble, who I heard is absolutely phenomenal at what he does. Joey Mercury. You have all these guys backstage who are helping, craft that next generation. And then backstage right now, you got Christian who can pop in. You have Big Show who they can help. You have Billy Gunn. You have Jerry Lynn. You have Dean Malenko. You have Arn too. Tully's back there now. You have Jericho. You have Sting, and Dustin. That's 10 guys right there alone that have all had experience in this business in different avenues, different aspects, different companies that can help that insane roster and guide them to be main stars. Plus, he has the experience of wrestling on television. Now, a lot of these guys, they've been on AEW what a year or whatever, but they're still new. They're still green when it comes to wrestling on national television. Christian's been doing this for 20 years.
And that's a fact. It might be a little too early because I want to see how exactly they push him. But you bring him in, and he's like this big star that you kind of portrayed him as.
They have kind of
a letdown to a lot of people.
They have kind of pigeonholed him where he has to outwork everyone. They've kind of pigeonholed him into that where now the matches have to be good. They have to deliver every single night.
It's been a while since I've seen Christian stuff, so we will have to wait and see. But
we're talking about Christian in the match pick, so we can kind of see, even though that was like 10 years ago. But we'll get into it. We'll get into it. But anyway, what are your thoughts on Bischoff's comments about the AEW TNA comparison overall?
It makes complete sense. AEW completely different from TNA. I think AEW has. He also said that TNA, there was a chance there. There's a little moment in time where they could have done something, but they just kind of dropped the ball, which I completely agree with. Kind of mid 2000s, you had Angle and, Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, Kurt Angle, blah, blah, blah. Even, throwing Christian there at the tail end of it. But AEW, I think, has a much bigger, if you can kind of refresh my memory exactly what was the distinction he put between AEW and TNA.
Hold on. Well, he was. Let me see if I remember. Jesus, I just watched it too. He was getting at how it's not the same, even though they have the older talent.
Yeah. So AEW, they have the Stings, Big Shows, Matt Hardy's, blah 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 blah, but they're not the top guys. they're always, in a subsidiary role mid card. They're helping out the younger guys, which in TNA you had Hogan and Flair and everybody come in and they're always like the top guys. The main event mafia, those are just all older dudes just kind of collecting the paycheck. Now we're going to wait and see with Christian. As you said, his whole gimmick is outwork everybody. So he's going to have to do work. He's going to have to put in the work and have good matches. So as long as they don't bring in, I don't know, Kane and Shawn Michaels and Triple H and, old guys, Scott Steiner, and they just kind of show up, collect a paycheck, which that's not going to happen, especially Shawn Michaels, Triple H. But there is definitely a distinct comparison. I know I just kind of crapped on Christian, his signing, but I will say AEW isn't leaning too heavily into the old WWE guys like TNA did back in the day.
Yeah, like they've signed like how many former WWE talent? Like not Jericho's been there since the beginning, but in recent memory, they of the older elk, Sting, which he's still mainly associated with WCW, Big Show and Christian, right?
And Matt Hardy.
Matt Hardy. All right. Those four. But then they sign a whole bunch of newer talent on top of that. They have more newer signings than former WWE signings.
And even the Matt Hardy signing, he almost feels more like TNA than WWE at times, especially with like his current gimmick that he's doing. Like it's all just kind of Impact in ROH stuff. He's not really doing the V1 Matt Hardy Boy stuff. Yeah,
and I just played a little bit of the Bischoff thing. It's facial recognition. That's a big reason why those guys are there. We're like, oh, okay, sponsorships and endorsements and all that other stuff, man. Yeah. Yes, sir. All right, moving on from that inside of the ring, AEW is looking to start touring again. And the tour date, they're going to pick up where they left off. They're supposed to hit Philly and then New Jersey and whatnot. So
California still has not had an AEW show, Philip. It is a travesty.
You see, on the Rich Eisen show, Cody explained the I forget the exact term he used for it geographically, but it's a certain travel route that the old territories used to use before they would even get to the West Coast. And that's because he's an old school guy. So that's what he was following. We were going to get one, like, let's say no pandemic happened. Double or Nothing was what, May 22nd, right? Or something like that, right? Last year. We were going to get one like mid-June or something like that. Something like that. Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. You got the trucks. You want to have the trucks on a nice, efficient route. And we're all the way over here, especially when they started in Washington, D.C.
Absolutely. So October 6th, 2021, that's when they're looking at touring again. And, hey, man, let's do it. Hopefully, everybody will be a responsible adult and get both doses of their vaccine or get the Johnson & Johnson, which is the one shot. Get your vaccine, get healthy so we can get back to going to live wrestling shows, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I said it earlier, looking like 4th of July might be kind of the first big date that we can actually kind of get back to some sense of normalcy. And October, well past that date, and possibly, this is more just scheduling because you got to get your ducks in a row and you got to promise a date. Who knows? Maybe it can be even earlier than that.
See, if we had a president like last year that really gave a damn, then maybe they'd be touring already. We don't know.
Looks like Australia and New Zealand are having a fun time.
Oh, are they really? What's going on over there? I haven't read what's going on over there.
Oh, they're just having packed full of concerts, and
there
are, I think there was a case, but we're not going to get political on this podcast.
We're not going to get political, brother. We're not going to do that here, even though we spent like 25 minutes talking about Christian and the politics of having him in AEW. Warrior Wrestling, June 5th. Kylie Ray, Smiley Kylie, is coming out of retirement. She's making her return to the ring. She'll be defending her Warrior Wrestling Women's title on that date. So, yeah, I'm happy for her to come back into the squared circle. We know she's had some depression, some mental health issues as of late. So, hey, man, I'm happy for her. I'm glad that she's coming out of retirement, and she's good, man. And you saw her with fans, like she's just so nice and sweet. And it's a shame that somebody that's that positive has been going through that type of mental illness.
Yeah, we've talked about her kind of the ups and downs the past year and a half or whatever, and maybe this is just kind of the spot that she needs to fall into. Maybe not be on a nationally televised show where there's a lot of pressure and stress, and just kind of work the indies, do a spot show. Maybe get a quote unquote real job and maybe this is just the way that she needs to work to have the best, mental health.
Yeah, you forget she was signed with AEW. You forget that.
She was like the talent. It was her and Britt Baker. Those were the two names that was going to be the face of the women's division.
And hey, we're going to talk about Britt Baker coming up. Star-making performance, I might add. All right, the Bella Twins are looking to get back into the ring within the next year. They talked about that on their podcast. So, would you like to see Britt and Nikki step back in the squared circle, possibly put those women's tag team titles on them, and make them actually feel important?
It makes total sense. The Bella Twins were
total. I see what you did there.
I know Ms. and Mrs. coming soon. Maybe Under the Radar comes back to recap that. But it makes sense. The Bella Twins come in, they retire. I don't even know if they officially retire, but they leave, and then they introduce a tag team women's title. So they always kind of said that'd be the thing that they want to come back for, even when they're pregnant, that they would always want to win those titles just to say they did it. And I have especially with the way the women's tag team division is on both WWE and NXT. I wouldn't. I know people might roll their eyes at it, but I have no issue with it.
Honestly, let them win both. Let them be the undisputed women's tag team champions. Let them do that. Oh man,
and then they just walk away, and then they say, "You can look, but you can't touch."
Boom! You see that, guys? That's
Look
why
in the territories.
That's why I keep Brandon here, because every time he's on this podcast, he stands and delivers. See what I did there? Yes, sir.
Boom.
Adam Cole, the boom with the Undisputed Era music. Is that gonna still be his music even though they're breaking up? I would hope so.
I watched NXT and I completely just fast forward through Adam Cole. I don't even know if he had an entrance. I know he had a promo, but that was.
I know he got arrested.
Well, apparently, Kyle O'Reilly ran him off the road, allegedly.
Whoa! You can't be doing that, bro. Like that's.
It was off camera. We don't know exactly what happened.
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Curveballs and chair shots. If you want to hear my NXT recap, every Friday.
Hey man, we could talk some NXT on here every once in a while. If we have a light week in the world of other things we talk about, we can do that. All right, WCW Greed 2001. This was the last WCW pay-per-view 20 years ago today. Today. How do you feel about that?
20 years ago today. Friend of the podcast, Brian Zane, has a recap of this on his YouTube channel. If you want to go check that out, or go on the Peacock. Does Peacock have WCW pay-per-views?
Dude, if they don't have all of the WWE pay-per-views, I highly doubt they have any WCW. Actually, you know what? I can look right now while we're recording. Let me look right now. I have my Peacock open. Got my Peacock open. Let's see.
Whoa. Settle down there, buddy.
Oh, hey now. WWE. They have a WWE tab. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's see. Okay, they have some originals on there. Okay. And the only WCW thing I see, oh yeah, hold on, is the Monday Night War. All right. Okay. Hey, this actually looks crisper than I thought it would, Brandon. I'm not gonna lie to you, man.
I'm not a technician or anything, but can't you just copy and paste everything into Peacock? Like, come on, people.
I would assume so. They have.
I know it's probably like 50,000 terabytes of data that you got it, but it's all like in the cloud. I mean, come on, people.
Wow, they have a rock section. They have his Young Rock show. They have his Titan Games. They have Fast and the Furious with The Rock in it. They have Saturday Night Live appearances. Okay. All right. It's something. They have all the Last Ride and the 24s and basically the WWE original content, like the documentaries that they do. That stuff's on there. NXT UK. All right. It looks promising. I'm not gonna lie, it looks promising.
I'm gonna lose my place because I have been steadily watching all the Attitude Era Raws. I'm in like SummerSlam '98.
Yeah, dude. Like I was watching In Your House, Buried Alive last night, and I've just been kind of going in order of like the pay-per-views in '96. I'm like, nah, I'm gonna lose my place. I don't remember where I'm gonna be at if I stop watching a match or something. I'm sad, man.
I know it takes a lot of work. I know it's probably going to maybe not completely seamless of everything on the network right now will be up on Peacock by SummerSlam. I know that might be a little ambitious, but
that's what they said. It's everything's going to be up there by SummerSlam, and that's a lot of content.
I hope so. But I mean, if you just get like the core WCW, ECW pay-per-views, get all the originals, get your Raws and SmackDowns, NXT and stuff like that, then you can backload the, world class and the old school stuff that, I mean, I would assume they have so much data on what people watch that you can go in order of, importance, quote unquote.
Hey man, what if I want to watch? What if I don't watch Buddy Rogers, dude? Like I just can't watch Buddy Rogers.
I guess not. Or if you want to see some like 2003 Velocities.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what if I want to see the Iron Sheik from like '82? Like, come on, man, come on. This day in wrestling, WrestleMania 19 press conference was today. Saturday Night Main Event 2006, TNA Victory Road 2012 was on this day. Robert Roode defeated Sting to retain the TNA title. Raw on this day in 2013, Wade Barrett retained his Intercontinental Championship in a triple threat match against Chris Jericho and The Miz. And Raw on this day in 2019, Seth Rollins wrestled Drew McIntyre. Yeah. All right, we are going into the fan mail. Are you excited about the fan mail, Brennan?
So excited. Just can't hide it.
So excited. We just can't hide it, ladies and gentlemen. All right, here we go. Got a couple. All right, Nigerian Prince. Oh, my God. The Hurt Business is ruined already. He put an angry face. Oh, Jesus. Why would they take the tag titles off of Cedric and Shelton? And then we all know Bobby is jobbing to Drew. What the hell, man? The community wanted to see them have a long run with all the gold, and then they should have put the U.S. on Montel. Come on, Vinnie Mac. Well, hey, we'll talk about all of them once we get to Raw.
Yeah, the tag team definitely, Shelton and Alexander, Cedric Alexander.
Yes.
See, they're not even on TV that much. I can't even remember what their names are. But I mean, this goes back 2 weeks ago with the Braun Strowman situation where he just completely beat up on both of them, and he should have won. He should have won the tag titles again as himself. But then that whole thing happened, and then the New Day win, and blah, blah, blah. We'll talk about it on Raw.
We will. Who do you 420?
Who do you?
Hey, mates, will Sami Zayn ever go back to being that awesome, unbelievable babyface that everyone loved back in NXT? I don't know, man. I've been watching some of that stuff recently. It was a special time.
I think the mailman's here.
Oh, man. But will Sami Zayn go back to being that babyface back in NXT? Well, he's yelling at the dogs. Oh God.
I would assume that Sami Zayn could be a God damn it. Could be. I mean, he is like the best babyface like of this generation, and the reason. They kind of dropped the ball with him. I know eventually, maybe one of these days, we'll do the NXT call up podcast thingy. So that's definitely one of the worst, I think, mishaps that WWE has ever done is Sami Zayn.
Okay, all right, I see it. Jack of all trades. Rosa and Britt put on one hell of a match. Though one of those women needs to be the AEW Women's Champ immediately. I absolutely agree. And then we're gonna go over to the Instagram DMs. You already know who hit us up, Brandon. You know who it is. In Brightest Day X.
Mr. X.
All right, here we go. The Ultimate Opportunist is upset with Daniel Bryan trying to get his opportunity at the main event of WrestleMania. Well, yeah, I can understand why Edge is upset, because look, Edge, he was told they both have similar this similar situations with the injury and having to retire. But Daniel was retired for what, 2 years? Edge has been retired for what, 11? Almost 11 years. He was told he would legit okay, those guys have come back, but hey man, there's no way you can do this again. And he's trying to right some wrongs. That I understand where Edge is coming from, man.
Yeah, the Edge Daniel Bryan dynamic of the past couple weeks on SmackDown, I haven't exactly understood what the real reason is behind the beef. I mean, both of them have kind of come across a little whiny and a little bit unlikable. Maybe not on Sasha Banks or kind of like that scale to where one is definitely supposed to be the favorite compared to the other, but I think this week or last week, I guess, on SmackDown, they did a little bit of a better job to kind of clear it up. Daniel Bryan saying he was going into business for himself because he doesn't know how much longer he's going to be doing this. So I think they're a little bit in cleanup mode, but I do agree this whole little mini feud between Edge and Daniel Bryan, I don't really understand it all too much.
It's simple. Edge doesn't want him to take his spot. It's just that simple.
But no one's saying he's going to take a spot. Edge is guaranteed a match at WrestleMania, and if Daniel Bryan beats Roman,
okay,
match.
Okay, let me rephrase that. It's
because Edge is whining because he wants to beat Roman.
Yeah, he wants to beat Roman. He wants to beat the top guy in the company right now. Even though Lashley's the champion, I mean, hey, Roman's that dude right now. Since August, since SummerSlam, he has consistently been in the conversation of what's best in wrestling in that week. Since August, the Roman's always been in the conversation. So he wants to prove to people like, all right, I've been messing around with Randy. I've been in a couple rumbles. Like he hasn't really like wrestled anybody else. You know what I'm saying? Like this is his true like coming out party to see if he can still really go toe to toe with the guys of this generation.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense, but when you're the guy who doesn't wrestle all that often, and then you're gonna get mad at someone for wrestling and trying to win a championship, like you don't really have any ground to stand on.
I I mean, I, you know, it's they're starting to get a little convoluted with it.
And this
I,
is why I'm kind of leaning towards a 2 match WrestleMania.
Possibly. I mean, we'll see. He also says, "No more Reginald, please. For the love of all that is holy, I can't take any more Reginald being involved in seemingly every woman's storyline on SmackDown. Yeah, after this, he needs to kind of take a break.
Is he the new James Ellsworth?
He might be. Does WWE have a partnership with Nickelodeon that we do not know about? What in the hell was with all the green slime? Oh yeah, Braun got slimed, I guess.
Yeah, I don't understand what they're doing with Braun. At first, I was wondering what the dynamic was, but now obviously Shane is the much more clear cut heel, and now they're embarrassing Braun and kind of calling him stupid. And I just feel like maybe this is one of Vince McMahon's things of embarrassing somebody on screen because there's something backstage that's pissing him off. It's one of those weird things.
Well, yeah, Braun is stupid.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
He's big and muscular, and all big muscular guys are stupid, right?
We love all of our big muscular listeners out there. At least I do. Can't speak for Philip.
I cannot express how much I like the amazing lights out match between Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker. Who do you think came out of the match a bigger star? If I had to choose, I'm gonna go Britt. But both women killed it though. We're gonna talk about that when we talk about AEW. Real quick, let's hit Monday Night Raw. So it's been named official. Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre will face each other at WrestleMania for the WWE Championship. It was nice while it lasted.
And this is what we expected. Maybe throw in Brock there, make it a 3-way, but straight up Lashley and Drew, and should be a really good match. I think both of them, Drew and Lashley, have kind of consistently been built up this past pretty much pandemic. And Sheamus and Drew are going to have a match at Fastlane. I believe that should be stellar compared to what they've been doing on Raw. And if Lashley can do pretty much the exact same thing that Sheamus has been doing with Drew, then that match should be pretty damn good.
Just get physical. All right, the New Day defeats Cedric and Shelton Benjamin to become the 11th-time tag team champions. This is also very interesting. Kofi Kingston won his 14th tag team title on Monday night. He now ties Edge for most tag team titles won in the company. Hey man, that number 11 is special. You know, Edge is an 11-time world champion. He won in his New Day are 11-time tag team champions. We're 11-time Bullet Cash champions. Something about that number, man. It's just special, right?
It's a special number, you know.
People
wish on 11/11.
Exactly, hey, this is it. This is the 11/11 right here. But people have been upset that like, oh my god, again, really? And how do you feel about the New Day winning the titles? Because they're going up against almost an AJ at Mania.
I do understand the people who are a little, angry at, oh, really, again, but for the most part, like on Raw, the only tag teams are Cedric and Shelton and then the New Day. And if you're going to have AJ and Omos go up against and maybe win the tag titles, it makes a lot of sense to have them go up against the New Day. Now, I wish they maybe did a little bit more to build up this feud. I mean, but the thing is, like, they've been doing this feud for so long that it's kind of hard to get really any more juice out of it besides just throwing a match on there and just closing your eyes and pushing through with the New Day being champions.
Yeah, I don't think people would be as upset maybe if it was a lower number, because they did hot potato the titles with the Usos for a little bit, which I'm not really a fan of the hot potato, because if they had like maybe if they were like 6-time tag champions, maybe people wouldn't be as upset. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like just a year ago, they were like 6-time champions or 5-time champions. Now they're all the way up to 11. Like, what the hell happened?
No, that was like 2017, bro. That was hella
I
long
don't.
ago.
I don't.
That was a while ago. I mean, the first run they were like they had them for like 400 plus days, which you remember that. But when they hot potato them and they get up there, you're just like, which run was that where they had that match with somebody? Like it just gets egregious. You know what I'm saying?
Too many title changes. Too many titles.
Oh my god, too many titles. Go listen to last week's episode; it was amazing. All right, AW Dynamite. The Prince of Pro Wrestling, Cody Rhodes, battles the Lord of Lucha Libre, Pentagon Junior or Penta Zero Miedo. Yeah, man, it was a decent match. Cody got the dub on Pentagon. I thought Pentagon should have won, in my opinion.
Yeah, I thought it was a solid match. They do the arm break spot, and then right after that, Cody gets the roll up. I was kind of wondering why they went to this match so quickly, and I kind of still wonder that, especially after the finish. I kind of see why people wanted Pentagon to win, but then also if you're not having big plans for Penta, and Cody is Cody, and he's going to be a main event guy pretty much his entire run, I don't think you want to just hand out quote unquote meaningless losses. So I can see them wanting to protect Cody, and the roll up thing, I'll talk a little bit more about it later because we had a similar finish. So I don't know if once again, just everyone's doing their own thing and no one's talking to each other, but the match was fine. The match was good, but the finish and then Penta just, attacking him afterwards and kind of no selling the loss doesn't exactly make the finish mean very much at all.
Yeah. All right,
Jade. They're still continuing this QT thing, which I don't think anybody cares about.
I care about QT. I care about him. I understand, man. I understand. Like I've because I'm a wrestling coach. The kids, they thank the other coaches, but don't give me any shine. I'm like, what? Really? I understand where he's coming from. See, I connect with these guys on that kind of level. Yeah.
At least someone cares.
Hey, other people care. How dare you? All right, Jade Cargill.
If you care so much, apparently there's a QT Marshall documentary on Amazon Prime.
I will have to buy Amazon Prime just for that.
There you go.
Just for that alone. I'll try to find it on YouTube first. Yeah. So Jade Cargill, who had her first wrestling match ever a couple weeks ago when she teamed with the Shaq, she goes on to defeat Danny Jordan. I like how her finisher is the BITCH clamp that Jazz used to use back in the day, or the Glam Slam that Beth Phoenix adopted in her tenure as an in-ring competitor. Yeah.
Solid match, just kind of reminding people that Jade is here.
What does she call this? Jaded? Is that what she calls her finisher? I think so, right?
Sure, we'll go with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Then she has a little face off with Red Velvet, so you want to see that again?
Oh, yeah. Can't
All
wait.
Right. Maxwell Jacob Friedman. He introduced a new group last week that decimated the Inner Circle. None of them were on the show, by the way, this week. That was a nice touch. Keep a couple of them could come back, keep Jericho off for a little bit longer to really sell it. Yes, so Wardlow, Cash Wheeler, Dax Harwood, Sean Spears, and of course flagged by Tully Blanchard. They are the pinnacle because they are the pinnacle of this profession. And you know what's actually funny, man? When MJF did that state of the industry address or whatever, going into his thing with Moxley, what was it? It was Dax Harwood tweeted something that he used the word pinnacle. Long-term storytelling, man. That's what this was. How do you feel about the promo? How do you feel about the name?
The name, the pinnacle, it's fine. I have nothing really too much against it. Kind of similar to the Inner Circle, really. But the promo I thought was just absolutely phenomenal. I think this is really what they're going to be doing, having Tully speak for FTR and Sean, and then MJF just speaking for himself and the group as a whole. And I thought it worked perfectly. I thought Tully starting off at, kind of explaining everything that happened in the brawl. I thought that was really good. And then MJF just topping it off and being MJF, being the smarmy heel that he always is. It was a great first step in this new faction.
Absolutely. Did you notice the lack of crowd in this show?
Well, I mean, I kind of think I touched on it once or twice, but they do the thing where they have the one live show and the tape show.
Yeah, this was
There's no
taped
one there.
the day after on Thursday.
Yeah, so they have
Which
they have the one show with crowds and then the next show without crowds.
MJF said he was 24, which he just had a birthday recently, but like I think on Sunday, where he turned 25. Dude, this guy's my age, man, and he's doing this great work. Brandon, have I wasted my life?
No, it's okay.
No,
You got so many more years ahead of you.
possibly. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But I thought it was great. I thought it was a great promo. I loved it. It was super good. Tully, you know, talking about how 34 years ago I was with a group of guys just like this, the best in our industry, and we ran roughshod over the territory and all that other stuff. And then MJF introduces each one of them. It reminded me of Flair because I mean we've heard about the Horseman elk, you know, the Horseman type, and you know Flair. You know, he used to introduce the guys like that, Wyndham, Tully and Arn, or Arn and Ole and JJ Dillon and stuff like that. I thought it was a good promo. I can't wait for that blood and guts match that we should be getting, hopefully.
Hopefully, and I agree with you. I think you want to milk it a little bit, have maybe Sammy come out, or maybe just like one Inner Circle member return, and then really have like the Jericho return be a big deal.
Absolutely. All right, Matt Hardy, Private Party, The Butcher and the Blade defeat Jurassic Express and Bear Country. Bear Country, your boys.
Yeah, Bear Country.
Hey, should they? You know, like how Beer Money used to do Beer Money. Should they do Bear Country? Should they do that?
Arr.
Yeah, exactly. Then they go. Arr. Should they do that?
Not against it.
Okay. How'd you feel about this? It was a multi-man match. We already know.
Nobody got hurt, so we can ask for.
Marco Stunt actually wrestled.
Good for him.
And he got pinned by Matt. Dude, he's so small. Matt Hardy just like covered his whole body, dude. That's how it was. I was like, oh my god, this is ridiculous. All right, John Moxley and Eddie Kingston defeat the Good Brothers with a roll up. You know, how'd you feel about their promo before the match?
I enjoyed it. I think Moxley and Kingston, I could watch. You know, they'll just go back and forth for a half hour, and it'll be entertaining. The match itself, it was fine. I kind of like the build of Kingston. I mean, Kingston, I know he's maybe more of a heel, but I love his selling. I think he's such like a realistic seller because he does things that I think about, like when we kind of can jump ahead where he's getting the beat down with Kenny and Kenny's just like pulling at him. And even when he's selling, he's still trying to fight back, which I love because I think sometimes in wrestling people like play dead fish too much, but Kingston, I think he's just like such a great seller. And I think everyone's going to talk about his talking, but his selling, I think, is phenomenal.
Hey man, it comes from growing up on the street in the streets of New York, man. You got to fight, and like in a fight, like even though you getting your booty handed to you, you're still going to try to get a couple licks in. You know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying. We got the roll up, so Moxley and Kingston get the win. I mean, I would have maybe had just Kingston lose because that's normally what he would do and keep the Good Brothers a little stronger. And then Kenny comes out and he just does his Kenny thing. And I'm starting to lose a little confidence in my boy right now.
I told you this all those years ago when we first started the show. Not that great. Now you people are starting to see it. I saw it from the beginning. Somebody give me my flowers, please. Somebody acknowledge the fact that I was right. I've been waiting for what was it, 18, 19, 20. It was like 4 years ago. I could wait a little bit longer. I'll wait until August. I'll wait until All Out. But yeah, the Good Brothers are no longer Impact Tag Team Champions. They lost to Finjuice.
Tune into the Stratosphere to hear stuff about Impact because you're not going to get anything here.
That's the most Impact we've ever talked in a while. Jesus. Oh yeah. Plus, Kenny's wrestling Rich Swann, the undisputed Impact TNA champion, next month for all the titles. We know how that's gonna go.
Kenny's just gonna be Ultimo Dragon, collect all the titles.
Austin Aries 2.0.
Who?
The greatest man that ever lived. He follows us now, by the way. Shout out Austin Aries. Shout out, dude.
Good for him.
Let's get him on the show. Get all the controversial streams, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's do that. All right. Oh my God. Tony Schiavone. He interviews Sting.
I don't know if you call that. I don't know if you call that an interview. He calls out Sting, and then Sting just stands there.
Well, Sting doesn't stand there. Darby Allin says, "I won this title in November. I've only defended it 3 times. Dark Order, if you want an opportunity, come get it." Then Lance Archer comes out there and he's like, "I'm tired of people wasting time. I'm tired of you taking up time." Which I'm sure people have felt that. Like, okay, why does Sting just keep getting these spots, dude? Like, what's going on? And then we're gonna take it. And then I think Jake Roberts said something Stinger, yada yada yada. Lance Archer's still a face because he comes out of the face tunnel. And then we have Team Taz come out there, and Brian Cage is like, you know what? Out of all the stuff that's been going on, I respect you, Sting. And then Hobbs and Taz and Team Taz like, hey, what the hell are you talking about? What are you saying? And then Cage walks off. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I thought this was a really good segment. It did so many things. I mean, Sting didn't do anything. He was the one party that didn't really do anything. Like the promo from Darby, trying to be a fighting babyface, calls out Dark Order, gives a little love to Brody Lee. Lance Archer, I like the promo he cut, teasing, maybe something with Sting, but leaned a little more heavily into Darby Allin. And then Brian Cage. I don't think this exactly means he's going to be a full-blown babyface and leave Team Taz, but maybe there's a little bit of dissension, and they kiss and make up, and they're all big bads again.
Is he no longer the FTW champion?
Yeah, that means old Willie Hobbs will be FTW champion now.
Forever FTW champion, though. Because I think he did a great job with it. All right, moving on from that, Rey Fenix defeats Angelico.
Yeah, it was a fun, sprint of a match. Phoenix gets the win, as he should.
Absolutely. Christian Cage has a promo with Dasha. Remember Dasha Fuentes from WWE? Yeah. Christian, he addresses the in his promo about, I know the veteran, the older guys coming here to take our spot. No, that's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to prove that I still got a little bit left in the tank, in a different atmosphere. And it's like he wants Kenny or whatever, and then he finishes with outwork everyone.
So I'm not here to take anyone's spot, but yet I'm going to be the AEW World Champion.
Well, I mean, who else is in the contention? Let's look at it. Mox, not right now. Kingston, they could try to get him there again, but I don't know. Cody can't challenge for the title. Jericho and MJF, all those guys are in something else. Dustin, no. Jungle Boy, no. Who else? Who else right now is in contention for the world title?
I'm just having a little fun with it. Overall, I think the promo was good. He addressed kind of the obvious of Kenny taking his spotlight last week, and he cuts the promo. It was very similar. He says he wants to be the AEW champion, as everyone should. But then he says he understands he has to put in the work. He has to win a few matches, so maybe we'll see Christian Cage wrestle in Dynamite sooner rather than later.
Christian, AEW champion, Edge, a champion in WWE. That would be interesting, right? Coming full circle.
There's no way Christian wins that title. I'll be straight up.
I think it happens somewhere down the line. I'll give it like a year, maybe 2.
I don't know what their long-term plans are, but maybe Christian wins just so they can get it onto MJF.
Possibly. I think this catchphrase in AEW is better than the TNA one.
And what would that be?
That's how I roll. He used to say it just like that.
Yeah, outwork everybody. Definitely better.
Absolutely. All right, the main event, Thunder Rosa defeats Britt Baker, DMD, in a lights-out match. Hey, man, I didn't think they were going to be this ambitious, but it didn't really. I watched it back. It didn't really even last that long, dude. It was a good match, though. I mean, we saw chairs, we saw a ladder, we saw blood-spattered curb stomps on steps and chairs. Rebel went through a table. There was a crutch spot, the thumbtack spot, which everybody's talking about. All in all, man, it was, and then the another table spot where it was it wasn't an air raid. It wasn't an air raid neck breaker.
Death Valley Driver on the ladder.
Not the Death Valley Driver on the ladder. Not even the flatline. I'm talking about the finish on the outside where Thunder Rosa drives Britt through a table. It wasn't a pile driver either. It was just a move. I don't even know the name of it.
Whatever her finisher is, I forget what it's called.
Yeah, yeah, the Tijuana driver, something like that. But hey, man, they did the damn thing. They did the damn thing.
I absolutely love this match. I thought this is one of the best matches of the year thus far, and whether that was deserved or not, these women I think had a lot of pressure on them, being that this is the first women's main event for AEW, and they just straight up delivered. One of the best hardcore matches I'd say I'd ever seen. Maybe not the best of all time by any means, but I think in this current crop, I think it's even unfair just to compare them to the hardcore women's matches in WWE. I think these are on par with some men's hardcore matches as well. It was gritty, it was hard fought. The spots weren't like spotty by like sometimes with the women's hardcore matches in WWE. Sometimes I feel they do it just so they can show, like, say, look, we can do these spots just like the guys. When in this match, I felt it made sense. It was like a proper flow for why they were doing this. It was a blood feud. This feud called for this type of match, and they did the big spots. I'm not, I've said I'm not the death match guy, but this feud called for it, and I thought it just delivered. They hit it out of the park.
It wasn't too death matchy. I mean, like with hardcore and WWE, like they do like the ladder or TLC matches. That's as hardcore as the women get nowadays. I mean, like back in the day, like I remember Trish and Victoria had a hardcore match that ended with like a suplex, which it wasn't even all that great or whatever.
The one that comes to mind is the TLC match in 2018 that we saw. The
Yeah,
triple threat with Asuka, Charlotte, and Becky. Like
and
they pulled
Vex.
out all the stops. I thought that was a really good match as well.
It
So
was.
I think it's kind of more on par with that. But sometimes they kind of do. I feel like WWE, they kind of do the evolution thing where they just do them just to say that they can do them, where it doesn't
Yeah.
really fit into the story or the match.
I mean, hey man, this was, could we say, the best women's match in AEW?
I think by far this is one of the best AEW matches. Period. I would say.
Yeah, they delivered. They delivered hands down. This was awesome, and they're getting really creative with the spots now. I mean, I didn't the thumbtacks. Like I didn't. Whenever a black sack comes out, you obviously know it's thumbtacks. Like with men, with them, I didn't. I didn't know. I didn't know if they were gonna do that. I didn't know if they were gonna go that route, and they did. And I was like, oh, okay. And then Britt takes the power bomb. I was like, oh my god, that must have. Like, Jesus Christ. And then she puts Thunder Rosa on the lockjaw, and Thunder Rosa rolls into the thumbtacks to break it. I thought that was creative as all hell. That was a nice spot. I really like that. AEW's getting really creative with their spots recently.
Yeah,
But
honestly, I think I like this match more than the two Moxley Omega death matches.
yeah,
I mean, I thought athletically the death match they had a couple weeks ago was fantastic, but the finish kind of derails it. And I think this match just had all the aspects. It had the story, had the grit, had the spots, had the finish, it had everything.
it was a star-making performance for Britt Baker. She needs to be the champion ASAP. ASAP.
And women can blade too, damn it. Women
Yeah,
can bleed. And I know it worked. I mean, hell, it worked with Becky Lynch. Like if Becky Lynch didn't bleed,
it didn't
in
get busted open.
if she didn't have that, that invasion on Raw, not saying she wouldn't have main evented WrestleMania, but like that was a moment. Like that was a big time moment. And see, red equals green, baby.
It does. When we think of Austin versus Britt, we don't think of their other matches. We think of 13, where Austin's passed out in his own blood. You know what I'm saying? Red equals green. Blood sells. When there's some red drippage, we get more invested. You don't have to do it all the time, but when it's done, because as of recently, who's been the only people to blade? What, Cody and Jericho?
Moxley and Omega did it. And
Okay,
Dustin.
okay, so Cody, Jericho, Moxley, Omega, and Dustin. Like
But it's
those,
pretty much, the veterans.
the veteran, absolutely. For these young women to have that kind of match and just tear it up, that's awesome, man. I'm incredibly happy for them. One of these women needs to be the champion ASAP, preferably Britt Baker. This was a star-making performance for her, even though she lost.
Yeah, I mean, you keep talking about Britt Baker, but Thunder Rosa is the one who won. I know this technically doesn't count towards their the
Win-loss
records,
record, yeah. But I mean, Thunder Rosa, like I'm saying, like one of them needs to be the champion, but I'd prefer Britt Baker.
I mean, but Thunder Rosa wins. I would assume that it doesn't go to the record, but maybe that helps her. They had Sheeta watch, have Thunder Rosa beat Sheeta, and then you could run this match back at Double or Nothing.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Thunder Rosa, she's wrestling this weekend at NWA Back for the Attack. She's going up against Camille, which, hey man, once her contract is up, I if I were Tony Khan, I'd sign her exclusively to AEW.
Thunder Rosa?
Yeah.
Didn't she just sign something with NWA though?
Did she re-sign with the NWA?
That's what the internet told me. I don't know how long though.
I don't know. I don't. Maybe a brief extension, like to get to like TV or whatever. But I don't know, man. NWA, that's this weekend. You gonna tune in?
Of course.
No, you're not.
Let's be honest. I'm gonna watch the New Japan Cup instead.
Wow.
Will Ospreay, Zack Sabre Jr. Fantastic match.
I like Zack Sabre Jr.
There you go. Then watch the match.
I don't know if I like it enough because Ospreay's in it. You know what I'm saying? Kind of overrated.
Feel it.
Mm-hmm. All right, we're gonna fast forward, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get to it. Fastlane predictions. The Women's Tag Team Championships title is not on the line. I mean the Bulletcast title is not on the line. Let's clarify. So Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler defend the titles against Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks. I think Banks and Bianca take them home.
I could see that, but I'm gonna go with Jax and Shayna to retain. Maybe we see Reggie get involved again, or we get like a full-on blow-up between Sasha and Bianca. The one thing on SmackDown is they continue to have Bianca lose matches. And I know they're going to build it up, and she's a young rookie, and she's going to have her big win at WrestleMania, but WWE and NXT do this as well. Like, just because someone loses and you're trying to tell a story, I don't think it's good for them long-term. And I kind of fear that's what's going to happen here, is Belair will lose because Sasha did something.
All right. The Intercontinental Championship, Big E puts the title on the line against Apollo Crews, the newly christened Nigerian King Apollo Crews. I think Big E wins.
Yeah, I'm fairly excited to see what they can do in this match. Athletically, I think in-ring it should be a really good match. Maybe show stealer if given the time, but I think Big E should win. I know Apollo just has his new gimmick, but Big E is on the fast track to be doing some things, and maybe he's the guy to ultimately dethrone Roman Reigns, but right now it's not the time to take the title off him.
Yeah, Big E, he's main event next year's Mania. I see it. Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus. Is this a stipulation match, or is this straight up one-on-one? Straight up regular singles?
I would let's see if I can
I
go
assume
to the wiki.
From where I got the information, it's just a straight up singles match, man.
Which, I mean, after everything that they did on Raw, kind of doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But maybe you want to protect Sheamus a tad bit of just kind of keeping it into the ring. But, I mean, Drew's winning unless there's some sort of shenanigans on the outside. But I am definitely going with big old Daddy Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, Drew. Going with Drew. All right, Shane McMahon versus Braun Strowman.
Well, according to Cultaholic, this match is not going to be taking place. It has been taken off all WWE Fastlane previews.
What? Wait. Which one?
Braun Strowman versus Shane McMahon.
Well, never mind then. So let's just skip all over that. Alexa Bliss versus Randy Orton.
I don't know what they're going to do because
Schmaz finished.
WWE doesn't do intergender wrestling at all. I mean, you have the Nia Jax situation, but last time I checked, Alexa Bliss is not the size of Nia Jax. So we're going to get some spooky thing, and Alexa Bliss is going to beat Randy Orton. Watch.
Wow, why you got to go with the size, bro?
I mean,
what's
your fact?
Damn. All right, Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan with either Jey Uso or Edge as the special enforcer for the Universal title.
I'm expecting the schmaz, but Roman walks as the champion.
Okay, for sure. All right, Superstar Spotlight. Who do we got? It has to go to Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker.
You keep singing the praises of Britt Baker, so I'll give it to Thunder Rosa.
I give it to both of them.
Well, it's called Superstar Spotlight.
Okay. I'll pick Thunder Rosa. You can pick Britt. There we go.
Fine. I'll shout out Britt Baker.
Shout out Thunder Rosa.
I mean, God bless Britt Baker. She was bleeding like a stuffed pig. I mean, Thunder Rosa, she bled and she, it got dried up pretty quickly. But yeah. Britt Baker, that thing was like getting in her eyes.
They did a close up. It was a deep cut, and I like the overhead shot they did. You saw thumbtacks, you saw chairs and a ladder and tacks and dribbles and pools of blood around the ring. It was carnage, and I loved it.
Fantastic.
Yes, sir. All right, what's our promo pick of the week?
Well, our promo pick yesterday was old St. Paddy's Day, so I decided to go down the Irish route. We got old David Finlay, WCW Worldwide, June 26, 1999. This is maybe not the best promo in the world, as you would assume, from Fit Finlay. Him and Old Mean Gene are talking, and Fit Finlay is going to join the WCW Hardcore division. And he just talks about grew up on the mean streets of Ireland, and he knows what a real hardcore fight is. And be honest, not the best promo in the world, but, Fit Finlay, one of those underrated guys in WCW, and just give it a check out.
They started talking about their haircuts. I was like, what is this?
I mean, this was WCW in 99. They're just there to collect a paycheck.
You forget they had a hardcore division. You really forget. Bischoff was the hardcore champion. Oh, man.
Norman Smiley, greatest hardcore champion of all time.
Exactly. Teacher at the Performance Center or the Capitol Wrestling Center. All right. Close match pick of the week. Christian, the ECW champion, goes up against one half of the undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions, Chris Jericho. ECW, October 20th, 2009. Brandon, did you even know this match existed?
Of course I did, because I am a wrestling savant and a historian.
No, you didn't.
Especially when it comes to WWE ECW.
No, you didn't know this match existed. No, you didn't. Don't lie to me.
There are so many amendments in the Constitution. If I can only pick one, I would choose the fifth.
Oh, man.
1, 2, 3, 4, fifth.
So what'd you think of this match?
I mean, solid match. Both these guys still working today. This is what? 11 years ago. Math is hard.
Almost 11 years. Almost 12 years ago.
So both of these guys athletically, I think both of them are in their prime. Not going to expect much if these two guys were to wrestle in AEW. That being said, Christian and kind of the former WWE guys, I would say you want to keep them away from each other and always keep them with the more homegrown talent.
Absolutely. A lot of that WWE ECW stuff, man, Christian, he was just on a different level, having really solid long matches with like Yoshitatsu and Zack Ryder in 2009, getting decent matches out of guys like Ezekiel Jackson and whatnot. So there's some hidden gems on that, man. And then just to see him kind of elevate that brand when it was dying. It was dying a very dastardly death, but Christian, he made it feel important for the little bit of time he was there before it got replaced with NXT.
Watch it on the WWE Network, or wait 6 months for it to be uploaded on Peacock.
Yes, sir. Or just record them all onto like a hard drive. Yeah, just do that.
We don't promote pirating on this podcast, Philip. This is a no pirating podcast.
Oh, no. You're still paying for the network. You're just recording it so you can have it forever. That's all you're doing. It's like a VHS, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yes. Follow us on Twitter at Bulletcast, Instagram, The Bulletcast, YouTube channel, The Bulletcast, emails, Bulletcast2 is the number 2, sweet SWET @gmail.com every Friday night from 11 p.m. to midnight, 104.7 FM KAPU in Watsonville, iTunes, Stitchers, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Anchor, Spotify, Patreon. We're all over the damn place. We're back Sunday night for the Fastlane recap. I'll watch it on Peacock. Brandon will be on the network like a madman as he always has been. Yes, Under the Radar will return at some point in time, and then we got a lot of podcasting coming up. Hall of Fame, NXT Stand and Deliver, Night 1 and 2, WrestleMania Night 1 and 2. All the workings, all the fixings coming up. Stay clean, stay strong, stay safe, stay quarantined. Diamonds are forever. So is the microphone Messiah.
Red alert, this is gonna hurt. When your face is in the dirt, you'll know your death is what I seek. We are the elite.
This has been the Bulletcast. Thank you for listening.